Hey, what's happening, everyone? I'm Sir James coming at you guys with another video, and hopefully you guys had a wonderful weekend. Last week on Friday, we took a look at Rey's Legacy lightsaber, and pretty much 1 week after Rey's saber was released, they actually released yet another Legacy saber. That one happens to be the Legacy Darksaber. That is right, we have an official Darksaber that has joined the lineup. And man, oh man, this has got a lot of mixed opinions on its, well, the community itself. Some people are praising it, some people are disliking it, others are like, it's kind of whatever. So I'm here, as always, to share with you guys my personal opinion on the product. And my reviews are always based on my opinion. Whether or not you agree or disagree, that's completely up to you. Now, this video was made possible courtesy of Ryan. He was in Disney World when this dropped, and he helped me to acquire this help. So Ryan, if you're watching, which I'm pretty sure you are, thanks once again for giving me a helping hand and making this review possible. So where do we start with? Well, let me go ahead and kind of give you the short version of this review first. Personally, I would skip this one and wait for the Hasbro Black Series one. Until then, you guys have a wonderful day. Later. Okay, so obviously you guys are still here, so you want the longer version of this review. Not a problem. So let's go ahead and basically start with, of course, from the beginning. This item is going to retail for the price tag of $200. And you might be wondering, that seems awfully a lot of money. Well, not really if you think about it, because this is kind of like a package deal. This is technically the first Legacy product in its lineup to include a blade with the packaging, as you can already tell from the larger box compared to the other ones that we've seen. You also get the hilt, and you even get a display stand included. No, it's not the metal one. It's actually a plastic one, which you'll see here in just a minute. If you're kind of curious about the actual box itself, unfortunately, it's not the nice plastic crates that you would expect from the other Legacy sabers. So meaning that the box here is actually pretty much a solid cardboard with a magnetic lid on the front here, which will pretty much open like so, revealing your contents perfectly packaged inside with a lot of padding for sure, to make sure obviously nothing is going to fall out or ding around. So, I mean, some people may be happy with the box, some people may not. And here is the symbol here on the very front, if you were kind of curious what is on there. But if anything, at least the cardboard packaging kind of resembles the Legacy crates that we have. It's just not, again, the plastic crates that you might be hoping for. To kind of go from there, let's go ahead and pretty much first talk about the display stand while we're at it, since that's kind of the smallest thing to talk about here. This is going to be the display stand that is actually in the box. You do have to assemble it. It's very simple and straightforward. You have the black base, and then you have these 3 plastic pieces, and then there's a little bit of a foam padding on the inside that you'll need to attach down here, which is to help kind of prevent your hilt from scratching on the bottom here. Overall, I really don't have any complaints for the display stand. It's pretty basic, it's plastic, pretty lightweight, so you can use it for your Darksaber, or you can use it for any other sabers that you wish to use it for. But again, I don't really have any complaints for this whatsoever. I mean, personally, I thought it was pretty cool that it actually came with one. So, again, not really much to say there. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring out the actual hilt itself. And here we go. We are going to save the blade until later on, because we also have a few things to say about that one. So here is the hilt. Let me go ahead and start with by giving you guys a closer look. So here is how it looks at a distance. Obviously, with it being black, the best way to show this is with the lights kind of hitting it as best as I can. There is a closer look at the emitter section, the top, the rest of the handle here, and there's our switch there for the activation. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of glossiness to this. And then here's the other end. Now obviously one thing that you may notice is that, at least from this side, it looks decent, but when you flip it over here, you kind of got this clearly obvious cover tech wheel. So let's go ahead and pretty much start from the beginning. First off, how does it feel in the hand? I actually like how this feels. It's very comfortable to hold, and just got a nice overall feel. Also, the weight factor is pretty decent. It's not going to be as heavy as you saw these, or even the Rey one from last week, because that one was crazy heavy. It's definitely over a pound. In fact, I'll put the weight on screen for just the hilt only for how much that weighs. So weight factor, and it's indeed very comfortable to hold. The section of which you saw when the close-ups, kind of like the striping that goes all the way down, has a little bit of a different color tone from the rest of the hilt, kind of giving you that detail there. And it seems to have like kind of like a small mini textured pattern to it, which is kind of giving you that grip feel as you have it into your hand. And I really like that too. The other thing that I also want to kind of point out is that on the emitter towards this top here, you might be wondering, how do you put your blade in there? This is actually a little plastic piece here that you have to remove, like so. And then you can go ahead and slide your blade in there. So let me go ahead and just put this back for now. As far as the blade go, when your blade is actually in, there's this little piece that sticks out on the one side. This is actually going to be your quick release mechanism, where you would push in all the way and then go ahead and remove your blade, which I'll demo that in just a few minutes. One of the things that I thought was pretty weird is that usually on the products, there's always some kind of copyright thing on there, like made in China, Lucasfilm kind of thing. Usually it's towards the bottom of the hilt on the end cap. But for this one, the placement was a bit weird, in my personal opinion, which is over here on the top here. If I could even show it in the light. It may be hard. You can kind of see it there a little bit. So they actually have the etched right here on the top where you're going to notice it. Again, when it's in your hand, and obviously when there's a lot of lighting going on, you're easily going to notice that, and it's probably going to bother some people. However, in a darker situation, which obviously the only time these are actually decent to play with is after dark, then by default you're really not going to notice it. So a lot of people are going to be 50-50 on that department. One of the things, or actually a couple of the things that I will point out here as well, is that first off is the cover tech wheel. Unfortunately, they decided to go with a silver option, which I don't know why. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the fact that they included something so we could actually connect it to our belt, but I would have, for me personally, I would either have a black cover tech wheel or a D-ring. Any of those two options would have been better than what they chose for the color of this one. And unfortunately, you can't just, remove this cover tech wheel and replace it with a different color. This is actually all built into the body here. You might be able to see it a little bit better here. This is built into the body. And the screw here is actually what's holding the battery compartment. So you would have to remove the screw here with the included tool in order to get access to the battery pack, which will be using AAA batteries. So that was a little bit odd too. So I wish you could have removed this and change it to a different color, but unfortunately the way it's designed, it looks like you're just not able to do that. The other thing that's also really kind of just triggering me, if you will, is the fact that the emitter and the handle are two completely different sizes. Why? I have absolutely no idea. It should all be one size from top to bottom, except for the very end piece and this little section here. Again, you might be able to notice it when I show it here. So if you can already notice, the emitter and the actual handle where you grip are two different sizes. Like this sticks out all the way over here and even over here. Why is that two different sizes? Again, I don't know why they chose that option, but it is what it is. But yeah, definitely I have mixed feelings. I do like the activation button though. The activation button's got a clicky feel, kind of like a mechanical keyboard. So it's got a little tactile feedback there. But enough of the hilt. Let's go ahead and bring out the blade because, well, this is where we have to discuss the rest of the stuff. So in the packaging, you just got to remove this top section here, plop that down, and then we can go ahead and get access to our blade inside the box. Place that down once again. I guess I'll just hold you in the one hand. So here is the blade at a distance. I should have taken a measurement prior to this review to let you guys know what the length of it is. If I remember, I'll try to edit it in as we go along. So here's how the blade connects. So this is the reason why this includes a blade, is because obviously it's a different style and a different way to connect. So therefore this will not work with any of your other legacy sabers. For whatever reason, they decided to have a lot of exposed clear sections, and they just have this tiny little black strip that goes all the way down to the very tip here, which is off-putting because when you ignite it, there's just a lot of exposed light, and it's like, nah, it should be like the edges. The edges should be the thing that's glowing all the way around, not how they did it. So I do want to showcase that on the opposite end, I actually modified it. So this is the only thing I was able to fix on the hilts. Now, I do want to note here that my modification was just done very inexpensively, just to show that it could be done. And all I did was I went to Target, I bought some cheap black tape that I could find, double layered it, and here's what I did. So again, this is the default Disney version right here, how it comes. And then here's my change right here. So again, I just used some black tape. You could use paint or whatever it is that you want, but this is just merely an example here. So if this is something that you want to do with yours, if you have one, going back to the side by default, focus here. Obviously, it doesn't like the clear sections too much. Come on. There you go. There's actually a little clear line on the top here that goes all the way around, even to the edge here. All you need to do is just follow the clear line and cover all that center section up. If you're going to paint it, then I recommend covering the sections you don't want paint, which is the edges, and then just painting the center in order to kind of get that effect. So let's go ahead and remove the little black piece on the top here. Insert our blade. So you want this facing up. You want the sharpness of the blade facing down. A lot of people always assume that you go like this because it seems to be like the common way, but this is Star Wars, so things are different from how we normally do things. Like so, and then you still get the same sound. If you want to remove the blade, once again, you have to press here with your thumb all the way in and pop out. I don't have any issues with mine. I know Peter from Ordinary Adventures had his kind of stuck, or he had a difficulty with his, but he's the only one that I know of that had some kind of issue, so I don't think it's a widespread issue. Let's go ahead and turn off the light here. So next up, let's go ahead and activate, and I do like how the Darksaber sounds, so at least it sounds really good. So we're going to go ahead and press the button. Again, the current side that I'm using is the default side with the blade. And you can kind of see a little bit of an effect there. My camera's actually picking it up a little bit better than the human eye. But there's actually an effect here in person too. In fact, let me kind of reduce this light here. So let me go ahead and point out another negative. The other negative that I have with the product is on the emitter. Not only is it thicker compared to the rest of the hilt, but the lights here do not light up all the way. It's only 2 out of the 4. So once again, activate. See, 1, 2, these are not. My camera might pick it up a little bit differently, but in person, these are not lit. Same thing on the other side. Let me go ahead and let you guys listen to the activation. And I'm going to go ahead and ignite this 3 times and deactivate 3 times. So here we go. So again, activation and deactivation sounds really good. Activating once again. Let me try to get some of the swings in here that I can. That would be the clashing effect. You really have to smack this hard too to get that to clash, but just doing a flick there actually makes it easier to activate that. Also too, the button's pretty sensitive, so be careful with how you handle it. Alright, so now that we got the sound out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the blade. So again, this is the blade by default. Even down here you can see light bleed, like they didn't even cover that all the way. So if you take the blade and we flip it over to the side that I modified, this is my modified version right here. Reduce the light once again. So, Disney side, by default, out of the box. And there's my modification. Flip this over once again. Now it is a lot dimmer on this side, and that's due to the fact that the LED strip seems to be way over here on the opposite end. Ooh. Let me go ahead. Alright, so that's how it looks and sounds upon its activation. Even with the blade in, it still feels very nice. In fact, the blade actually is pretty solid in there. I mean, it does get wobbly when you're going left and right, but just kind of swinging it and playing around with it, and again, the easy to activate switch. Again, that feels really, really good. So obviously the thing that I don't like is that I don't like how there's a lot of exposed clear sections on the one side. With me just simply using some tape in 2 minutes of my time, I feel like that's an improvement. But again, everyone's got their own thoughts on that. Let me go ahead and deactivate. And the fact that the windows don't light up all the way is also a bit disappointing. But yeah, like even me, I am really mixed on this one. It's kind of hard for me to really recommend this one. Personally, if you are someone that's specifically collecting all the legacy lightsabers, then the obvious answer would be, of course, you should add it to your collection, because otherwise your collection wouldn't be complete thus. If you're someone that's trying to debate on should you get the Galaxy's Edge Darksaber, or is it best to wait for the Black Series 1 by Hasbro? My personal recommendation is to wait for the Hasbro one. I know technically we haven't seen how it's officially going to look besides the digital concept renders and of course the box art, but looking at the Hasbro Black Series one, there's a few things that I noticed. It looks like Hasbro is going to be using a cover tech one, but theirs is going to be black instead of silver like Disney did here. The actual hilt from the emitter down to the handle are going to be the same size. Based on the text that they're going to be, based on the tech they're going to be using, it seems like all 4 of the windows on the emitter is going to be lit up, which we'll have to wait and see, of course, if that's true. And the blade already looks great without any modifications, unlike this one where I had to do the modification to make it to at least something that I thought would resemble it a little bit better. And of course, also on the Hasbro one, you also get a stand with it. I think that one's a metal stand, and you even get an extra effect such as melting feature. So again, just personally, if you're on the fence of it, I would wait for the Hasbro Black Series one to come out before you make your final judgment. If you are a legacy collector, then obviously you're going to want it to have it for your collection, so that way it'd be a little bit more complete. But that's just my 2 cents about it. Like I said, I'm mixed about it as well. There are some things I like, but there's a lot of things that I don't like. And that's pretty much that. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Is this something that you're going to be picking up yourself, or are you too going to be waiting for the Hasbro Black Series one? Let me know in the comment section below. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Saber review. I don't know whether or not if Disney's going to release another one here soon, but I do have a nice custom one that I've been saving, which we're going to be taking a look at basically a Jedi killer lightsaber. This is a very awesome custom one that I can't wait to share with you guys. I already teased it on the channel. Till then, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. And also remember, may the Force be with you.